another faffing around video with like an odds and sods rich fruitcake. So I've got a few things that I'm baking today. I'm making rich fruitcakes, but I just haven't got quite enough fruit to make three. But I've got enough to make two. So, and then I've got a few other bits of odds and sods of cake ingredients, which I'm just going to put into a cake mixture. Because if the oven's on, we might as well be making three cakes rather than two. So I've kind of gone through the cupboards to see what I've got. I've made a hot cross bun and a brown bread rich fruit cake in the past. It worked quite well. So this is kind of a continuation of that, as in what else can we put in a rich fruit cake. So I've got these were in the cupboard, soft pitted prunes. I've chopped them up, they're like there. And then we've got some sultanas. We've got some candied peel, which was bought, which was part of another experiment. It's all right. It's all right. I'd rather prefer to use my own. And then we've got the crust from a fruit loaf. I didn't make it. I bought it, and just one part of the crust, and then just like that's been in the freezer for a while. So that needs using up. And then we've got some digestive biscuits, which have been in the cupboard for a while. And probably going a little bit soft. Well, they are going a little bit soft because I tasted one. So they're going a little bit soft. And then we've got some goji berries. So I was out for a walk with my sister, and there was one of those places where you can refill your own containers. You take your own containers into the shop, and then you refill those containers. And there's big bins of all different kinds of things. And I've never tasted goji berries before, so I just bought some. And I was kind of like, they're all right. I don't know what I'll do with them. I don't know if I'll and to stop them from just being in the cupboard for the next 6 months and me not using them. They're going in here. So we need to break up the biscuits. I've done a ginger nut sponge before, which worked out kind of quite well. But it's just like a bulking agent more than anything, and like a bit of a what a fat rascal used to be, which was just the leftover bits from the day before that had gone a bit stale in the bakery. So the baker just used to combine them with a new bit of scone mixture or cake mixture and make a fat rascal. And then these will just, I thought I'd seen some mould there, but no. So this fruit loaf, it's not very good actually. Just one from the supermarket. Wasn't very impressed. It's the kind of thing that you need, in all honesty, you need more butter on it than actual fruit loaf to make it taste half decent. We've probably got a little bit too much mixture here, but we'll be fine. Let's just hold back some of those biscuits. I don't want to put too much filling in. Let's just hold back a bit of that as well. But we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. So that there. So it's a 3-egg cake mixture that I've done. So 3 eggs. I'm working in pounds and ounces, so it's 3 eggs. It's 6 ounces of butter, 6 ounces of soft brown sugar, and then 6 ounces of flour, which doesn't seem quite a lot. And when I put it in there like that, that doesn't seem a lot either. Anyway, so we'll see if we can get away with a bit more. And we'll use a wooden spoon to mix. I find metal spoons just aren't. There's bend in a metal spoon, and there's bend in these things as well. If someone could come up with a spatula that's got an actual rigid handle that you don't feel it's going to snap or break, or better quality metal spoons that don't feel like they're going to break when you're folding things in, I'd buy them. But everything's just so cheaply made these days. I think people have forgotten about quality. So wooden spoons are rigid, so much easier to fold things in. Well, mix things in. We'll get there once it's all combined. It's just a bit. I don't want to mix it and go everywhere. Can we get away with putting those other ingredients in? I think so. I don't want to overfill the mixture. No, let's just put the fruit loaf in. Let's not put those biscuits in. don't want it to become too dry. But we'll see. We'll mix the fruit loaf bits in. And then, but there's about £1.5 worth of dry ingredients go into this cake. So cake mixture and another £1.5 of mixed fruit and all that kind of stuff. So good old milk, so everything's. Should have had a bigger bowl. I could use a bigger bowl. I can use a bigger bowl, can't I? I can do it that way. Should have done it that way around. Ever prepared and all that. So this should be okay. So then I've triple lined a loaf tin with baking parchment. Yeah, I'm not going to risk putting those biscuits in. I could probably do with a bit of moisture in there. How's it taste? We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. So, triple lined cake tin, or loaf tin, and then mixture in. Like that. We'll see how it turns out. So, about 3 hours they're going to be in for. 3 hours on 140, 150, and then I'll put another layer of baking parchment on top and tuck it under. I've got a bit of baking parchment to hand. Yeah, so I'll do it, I'll show you. If this is the first cake video that you're watching of mine, I've made loads of them. So, what have we got? Clean-ish. So, this is something else. So, I'll put a layer over the top and then tuck those underneath and put that on the oven shelf. And then what that will do is protect the top of the cake from getting burnt from colouring too much. We don't burn things in this kitchen. We caramelise them or barbecue. So that over the top, that'll protect. Be in for about, I'll have a look at it after 2 hours because there's cake in, well, there's bread in there and there's biscuits in there that don't need as much cooking as the rest of the kind of stuff. So we'll see how it kind of goes after 2 hours. But normally a rich fruit cake I'd have it in for at least 3. I made a mistake and I caught it just in time. I never add the eggs or the flour to my sponge mix. So that's just flour and that's just sugar and butter mixed in with all those cake ingredients. So never want to miss an opportunity. Let's see if we can add the other ingredients back to it. Add the eggs and the and the flour now, and let's see how it turns out. So that's why it was a little bit dry, and that's why I didn't think there was too much cake mixture. So we might be able to add those biscuits back. So 3 eggs. I don't want that in that. So I'm not even going to whisk the eggs. I'm just going to put them in and see what happens. So that. Now we might actually get another cake out of this because of the increased volume of the eggs and the flour. So we might have to do another cake tin, which I've got one prepared, so that's fine. So that's that. No, don't want that shell in there, do we? And then, carefully, so it doesn't go everywhere, break that into the, like that. That'd have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? How would that have turned out? I always did that before when I was really young. We were making, we used to do home economics at school. I've always been interested in cooking. It was I wasn't allowed a chemistry set because I was dangerous. So, but I was allowed to play in the kitchen with food, and so cooking became my chemistry set. So, and I did home economics at school because I was always interested in cooking. So, and I once did the same with the Swiss roll. But I remembered with that as well that I'd not added the. I'd whisked up the flour. I'd whisked up the eggs and the sugar, and then never folded in the flour. So it was like 30 odd years ago. So, right. that in, and then combine it all together, and then I think we'll use a bits of biscuit in there as well. Put them in. It's fine. It's going to be a disaster. We might as well make more of a disaster and make it bigger. That should be okay. That's better. So with the mixing, it should combine the egg all into it. You're supposed to do it with the after you put in the once you've creamed the butter and the sugar, then you're supposed to beat in the eggs. But you know, I want to mix it the right. Do it here. Mix it well enough now. That's a better cake mixture, isn't it? Actually looks like cake mixture. So as long as it's combined, it might work. Yeah. So that actually feels better. Yeah, so we put all those ingredients in, didn't we? So and then we'll kind of see. It's going to get filled. It's going to give a better beat on the camera without it going everywhere. Right. Let's see how it goes. No, it's still not going to make one. Yeah, it's only going to make one cake. That's strange, isn't it? It's obviously the added volume of the egg and the flour. It's not that much. Hasn't made it that much bigger. But it was noticeable for me. Me thinking that there wasn't just quite enough cake mixture. Anyway, right. So we've got two different videos here, haven't we? We've got a almost failed. Change the times of when we add things to a cake mixture. Although it should work because there is all-in-one cakes, isn't there, where you just add everything all in one go. You don't cream the butter and the sugar together, and then you don't mix in the eggs, and then you don't fold in the flour. You just put everything in the mixer and just mix it all together. I never looked into that. I'll have to look into the ratios of what if an all-in-one cake is a different ratio of sugar, flour, fat and egg. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Well, for me, well, the cake used to taste alright. Tastes like cake mixture. Just need a bit of just need a bit to go over the top of it. So this has been used before. I'm fine with that. So that over there like that, and in the oven for 2 hours, and we'll see what happens. 2 hours. So let's have a look. Well, it's risen. It's risen. It feels kind of quite firm. Oh, that's definitely cooked, is that? That's definitely cooked. Yeah, that's definitely cooked. Let's just stick a probe in. Well, stick a skewer in. Yeah, so we can come out clean. Yeah, that's come out clean. And it's hot as well. So that's cooked. So if you mess up your cake and you forget to add your flour and your eggs, which you shouldn't do, because it's a stupid mistake, and I'm sure you're not as stupid as I am. It works. So we'll let that cool, and then we'll have a look at it. So that's worked. Slightly relief. Right, it's cooled. Let's have a look. It looks like it's not. It looks like it's turned out all right. So it should be. I don't know. I think it's just good to know that you can. If you forget to put something in a cake, you can add it back, even if you put it in the oven for 5 minutes. So we'll cut there. Might be a bit dry because of the ingredients, but we'll see. It'll be still nice. I'm still going to eat it. Oh, there we go. That's interesting, isn't it? So obviously you can see there the bits of, those are the bits of biscuit there, and then there's the fruit. That's here. Goji berry anyway. Let's give it a taste. Oh no, probably that. No. No, is that the I don't know what that is. Maybe that's the fruit loaf. Yeah. Well, nice. It's a little bit dry, but that's because we put. I'm eating with a mouthful, aren't I? But that's because we put a couple of dry ingredients into it. But still, it's cake, isn't it? You know. And we've taken odds and sods from around the kitchen and made a thoroughly decent fruitcake. I suppose the other way of if you didn't have enough fruit for a fruitcake, then you simply do a 2 egg mix rather than a 3 egg mix. But you know, it's kind of what you got around the house. Some nuts would be nice in there. You know, like an old crust of brown bread. You know, just to kind of bulk it out and making things go a bit further, and then to kind of have more cake in the house would be nice. You know, but like, if you were to go through your cupboards, if you're into baking, if you were to go through your cupboards, you'd have half a packet of raisins and some mixed candied peel, and you'd have a few, like half a bag of walnuts or some other kinds of nuts, and you'd have a crust of bread, and you might have some old figs or some dates or some prunes like I had, and you could just, as long as you get enough fruit in there, you can make an odds and sods fruitcake, and use everything up, you know, rather than having to buy anything else, you know. And we've found out that if we forget to put the eggs and the flour in the cake and put the cake in the oven, we can always take the cake out of the oven and mix in the flour and the eggs, and it turn out, you'd never know. So anyway, so a success from this, for the sake of we've learned about screwing up a cake and fixing it, and we've taken all these different things that I had around the house and made an odds and sods Christmas cake, which is very nice. It's a little bit dry, but it's very nice. It'll be I'll just have to drink it with tea or coffee, won't I?